We are the co-hosts of Yellow CommemorASIAN. This is probably the fifth or sixth iteration. Um, I want to welcome all of you and thank you for joining us. We are genuinely grateful that you choose to share your good company with us now when there are so many other options for you. And I want to extend a really warm thank you to all of our talented lineup for um, choosing to share their talents with us. So, a few words on our title, Yellow. We chose yellow with deliberate intention. Yellow is a title for all of our poetry endeavors, including our monthly poetry get togethers as well as our annual celebration. Yellow is an equal measure, a rejection and a reclamation. It is a rejection of our Western view of yellow as a contemptible color associated with weakness, cowardice, envy, inferiority. It evolved from beyond a mere skin color and came to represent the Asian's character. Yellow is also a reclamation of yellow as beautiful. For Asians, yellow represents life, resistance, soil and earth, courage and rebirth. So we thank you for joining us as we celebrate and amplify the richness of our cultures and honor our ancestors. We believe it's really important more than ever to celebrate our diverse heritages in solidarity, especially amid the relentless attacks on immigrants today and the increase in violence perpetrated on Asians in particular. So, just a brief note, it goes without saying we will not tolerate any hateful speech or behavior. So, with that, again, thank you very much, and we will start. Do you have anything you want to say or add, Maureen?
Thank you, Keith, for the warm welcome and introduction. And I'm truly so sorry about these Zoom bombers. Um, they tried to intrude and they did for a second, and
Oh, no.
it was a split second, 2 seconds, and it won't happen again. So thank you. Well, we're human here, so it happened, and we're gonna make sure it won't happen again. So welcome to Yellow. Thank you, Keith. It's so exciting to be here, um, to see all of you, to have so many talented, powerful individuals that are blessing us with their art, with their work, with their contributions, and also for those who are sharing the space and bearing witness to what the offerings will be. So for now, I invite you all. We will lean into a brief grounding practice, because art is healing, it's also activating. So just to dive in to our bodies, to our spirits, I invite you all to close your eyes. I will also close my eyes. I invite you to adjust your body, your breath, your posture in a way that invites safety and comfort. Invite stillness or movement as needed, as deserved. I invite you to really pay attention and make note of the cues of safety. How do you know that you are settled? How do you know that you are comfortable? How is your body and how is your breath communicating this to you? Be open, be curious. Dive as deeply into your body as you feel okay to. Today, we embrace the theme of celebration, and celebration means something different for everyone. With celebration, there is love, there is grief, there is ache, there are multitudes in grief. And so I invite you, as you are witnessing everything being shared, to be gentle with yourself. If you find yourself having a tender reaction or response, receive it as information and tend to yourself as you need and deserve. Take a moment to revisit this cue of, to revisit this feeling of safety and comfort. Let this be your anchor throughout the event and in general. And remember that the anchor is not the position or the breath, but the feeling of being held and secure. When you're ready, open your eyes, return your gaze to this room, to this space. And let us hold each other collectively and also hold ourselves. So whenever you need to, please return to your anchor, do what you need to do, tend to yourselves. We will have a few breaks, but those will come later. And we also have a safe room. And so it's a breakout room. So if ever you need to check out without fully checking out and you need just a small respite, there is a safe room. And you can message either Keith or myself if you would like company. All right. So as the artists are presenting and performing, feel free to give them their flowers, quote the lines or sentiments that grab you. And yeah, let's just hold each other. This is our space. This is yellow. So.
And of course, you all know, I don't need to say, but write something that really hits you hard in the quotes in the chat, but also visually. Let's all make sure that we applaud and snap our fingers or anything that we need to do. So let people know that they're being received and that they're making an impression on us. Okay. So, Maureen, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Yes, you are. Okay. Well, great. So at this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce an old friend, um, a very powerful performer. Um, he evokes such deep feelings and emotions in his audience. I can't say enough. It's just a pleasure to have him again. His name is Lakàn. He is from the Philippines, and he's a very modest guy. He doesn't have much to say in his bio, but I will tell you, once you hear him, you will be blown away. Um, and I have to say, he's fearless and he lets himself be as vulnerable as he needs to be. So I have a lot of respect for Lacan. So, Lacan, the stage is yours.
Magandang umaga, a beautiful morning. I'm Lakàn and I'm from Maynila, Pilipinas. And we don't say good morning or good afternoon or good evening in the Philippines. We say beautiful. So thank you for having me today. And this is, I think, my second time to feature for commemoration. And thank you, Keith, and thank you also Maureen, both for hosting and getting us all together. And as Asians, albeit the Zoom bombing, as Asians, we do our job. So I'll have two poems for today. The first one, as planned. The second one, as Asians, we never forget and we strike hard back. So the first one, the first piece, I wrote this piece as part of a collection. And this event is commemoration, so we commemorate also the things that makes us Asians, what makes us who we are, and even the terrible parts of our history for identity. And this is juegos in that Spanish, which means game. The best way to rape Manila in 1898 is to spread her legs with steel hands. As its bay peels off its skin, big guns can enter its puerta, 8 inches full. Americans are hung in the wrong places. The way they fool each wave with its protected cruiser, its destroyers, where consent is yanked from the back, while its mother watches from the window. Putang ina España. Horrors herself and her daughter in a play of hands. A foreplay of holes begins as games thrust each Caucasian holes to each hole they could put their keys on. They're all decked in white. As Mama escapes in the back door, ignorant that shame knows all the exits. As the ivory fleet pushes their feet at the sun-kissed shore of the Pacific, they know they caught a fresh catch, tearing on the tears of the tide, splitting the Indias Orientales, the tales on how to orient the Indias. The ideas rolled on her skin. As a star-spangled burden hoists a girl's body like a fresh territory, owned and raped until 1946. I think a lot of people forget that the Philippines was a colony of the Philippines where they stole a republic for 20 million US dollars. And they committed genocide of more than 3 million people in the Philippines in the Spanish American War, which the United States omits up to this day in history books. So, going back to the striking back, those Zoom bombers, they can try. So I'll do freestyle. I was supposed to have a second poem, but we respond to crisis as it happens. We breathe with the skin. We breathe with this air. We open our eyes and the terrible happens, and yet we look with these eyes, with this iris, with this eyeball that thinks that it is a circle. It will end if we choose it. Healing begins when you choose not to lie that these things exist, but we respond to it. Be above it, because there is nothing in this universe that is above you until you permit it. You release the pain, for it is expensive. Can you pay for it? Or will you choose to heal by letting go? The pain, the hatred are the rusts of life that we cannot afford. So let them go. Let them heat. Let them be the purpose of you taking that step and saying, I have no part in it, but up until that time, so when you look at evil of the eye and say, you shall not pass here, because these skins, these eyes, these breaths, you do not own. Not because we are Asians. That's just because I'm Filipino, or someone is Chinese, or someone is Japanese. Because this is human. And it is a choice to be humane. So choose it. Choose it today. Choose it now. For we have the power to say no. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much, everyone.
Oh my God. Lakàn, your work always takes my breath away. I don't even know what to say at times. Thank you so much. It's so powerful. Um, Thank you for being such a strong voice, a strong Asian voice. And thank you for blessing us with your talent. Anybody that wants to say something, please feel free.
You're amazing and I love you. Like that freestyle? Damn. Oh my God. Sorry, just had to say it. Just had to say it.
Yep.
Loved it. It was juicy. It was powerful. It was in your face, still with love, beautifully placed and lubricated for all.
Lakan, I really appreciated your spoken word because it's such a way to transmute the emotional pain and trauma that lives in history, to educate people about the history that so many books don't share. Because my parents' country, Taiwan, was also, it just reminds me of comfort women all over East Asia. And that reminds me of the stories that even Iris Chang, who wrote The Rape of Nanking, wrote as well. So thank you for your art.
Anyone else? Thank you, Emily.
Lacan, I love the power of your words. And I love the fact that you bring it back to us and our power to heal, to see, to witness, and to let it go in strength. It's, it's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Lakàn, for blessing us again and again. I just wanted to quickly share that, at the end of each offering, we will allow, as you have seen, guests to give the artist their flowers. But just in case, I also have my hand on the mute button for anyone who wants to fuck with us again. So if you are talking and you are a safe one and you find yourself muted, we will correct that. But just so everyone can anticipate that. And now, without further ado, I would like to introduce Aishwarya. Aishwarya has been with Yellow since the beginning. So thank you for that, for being with us and for naming us the Yellow Warriors. And well, I won't take up their time, so you can just witness their magic yourself. And their information is in the chat for you to refer to and connect. So everyone send your hearts, your emojis, whatever you'd like to Aishwarya.
Yes.
You should be able to unmute yourself now. Sorry about that.
Hello. Maureen, would you share the screen when I'm done with my intro? Yes. So, hello everyone. I am Aishwarya. I am joining from Bombay in India. It's night time here as always. Every time I join this beautiful space, it's a beautiful night. And I'm very excited and to bear witness to all of you. And the space always leaves me so much more warm and validated. So I hope it makes you feel the same. So I'm just going to start and I'm going to let my words speak for myself. Hope is not silent. Hope is not silent. Brave, afraid, curious, courageous, courageous, afraid, afraid, brave. Skin flowing with melanin, skin bursting with pride. Sometimes pride is not so loud. Sometimes pride is not so outspoken. A silent flame coursing through my brown body. Writing flows, is fluid, moves like water, is wild, is whispering a secret into the calm that masks the world, like a pandemic, revealing something, a change, a perspective, a new world, imaginative, hopeful, sometimes vengeful, imbued with rage, loneliness, a sense of despair, a waiting for help, a waiting for solidarity. What is accessibility? Where shame has lost the monopoly over feelings and having needs. Where no bodies are stripped of the love to hold themselves because some people decided They are unfit, they are weird, they are in need of a cure. It is where kindness meets with safety and accountability. Writing is a kind of waiting, with some music on, a desire to tuck into someone's arms. It is undoing of the mind, of body, of something deeper than both of them combined, the soul, and even something as small and vibrating as a name. Hope can be soft, fragile, delicate, crooked. It can be all of that, but never weak, never stupid. Hope is not silent. Brave, afraid, curious, courageous. It is hope that adds flavor to living, an invisible faith, locked in the streams of heart. Writing is a suppressed voice, standing in the light, naked, nervous, but brave. It is opening the knots of a severed ecosystem. It is a revolution, a challenge, a threat to those holding illegal powers. Writing is an awakening of the present, remembering the past. It is an urgency of the future talking to the present. It is an infinity of paths determined by collective humanity, a collective past, identities blending. Writing is the silence between eyes. It is a lighthouse for liberation, a mitochondria for thoughts. Hope is not silent. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Aishwarya, I love how you finish, when you finish your performing, you smile as if you didn't just like alter our spirits and awaken our spirits. And that was so gorgeous. Thank you. Wow. Would anyone else like to chime in and share uh, their feelings, their reactions to Aishwarya?
Hi, Aishwarya. That was really, really powerful. I'm also from Mumbai, so hi. But really, really powerful. I'm definitely gonna have to reread it because they were all such powerful words that I'm gonna have to sit with my thoughts for a little bit. But really great.
Yes.
Really great.
Thank you, Mansi. Did anyone else, I heard something. Did anyone else want to share something?
I certainly do. There's so many great lines. Well, first of all, on an emotional level, I was just stunned by the depth of your writing, the depth of your words, so reflective of this authenticity that you have every time I've heard you. It seems so grounded in you and the truth that you hold. Um, and I just kept writing down lines. Kindness, writing is an awakening. It's mitochondria. Hope is not weak. Hope is not silent. It's so beautiful. Um, and I feel we've all been blessed by what you've shared. Your gift to us is so powerful. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Um, it, if you feel like sharing something, feel free to do that. Just to be clear, you don't need to be one of the features to share your reactions, your thoughts, your emotions.
Having lived for a while in India, I I feel in my bones the power of the patriarchy, and as embodied in both the men and in the women's expectations of their daughters. So I really feel um, the challenges of being able to have a free mind and heart, and why sometimes when speaking out is just not heard or is not safe, that writing is that hope. And a global community like this can really um, uh, increase one's strength and the ability to keep on going. So I applaud your courage. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And I also would like to share something, like, don't know if the context was clear, is that I'm coming from the perspective of being a woman. I'm also coming from the perspective of being a young disabled woman in India. And it's very layered and tricky, because it's not just a patriarchy, and patriarchy itself is so big. But yes, hopefully, yes, we will get to hear each other more and unpack this. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Aishwarya, for blessing us again.
Well, I would like.
Oh, sorry, I got unmuted.
Okay. So, Maureen, I'm ready to introduce Jan. She is a writer from Hong Kong and lives in LA. Her fiction and essays appeared in many publications, including the Chicago Quarterly, the Hong Kong Free Press, Cultural Weekly, Pop Matters. She has spoken on free speech issues and Hong Kong's democratic development for Amnesty International, the BBC, and others. The Reporters Without Borders nominated her weblog for a Free Speech Award, and some of her early work and zines are featured or archived in the Glasgow Women's Library and the Riot Girl collection at the Fales Library in New York, at New NYU. So we're excited and pleased to hear Jan. Please take the stage.
Hello, I just want to thank Keith and Maureen for putting this on and inviting me. And hello to everyone around the world. I'm so excited. There's just people from all over India, Philippines. And I decided the theme was celebration. So I was going to read happy poems. Not all happy, but warm poems. So my first one is inspired by the Pillow Book, which is a very important piece of Japanese literature. And the writer writes lists. So this is my list. Things that make me smile. Fingers filled with silver rings of different size and shapes. Clusters of bluebells nestled in a vast yellow and orange field of wildflowers. Asking a love where he would like to visit next, and he replied, the moon. Ice tall green matcha drinks with drops of condensation sliding down the side. Hearing old songs I like and realize they're good when I sing along. The pleasure of being surprised by what someone said. When I look at my boy and see he is taller than me because he's growing into a man. Thoughts of new lips touching. Delightful lists from a woman from 1,000 years ago. and making lists on my own because I am still alive. So I thought since it was Asian, I picked two themes of immigration and home. So this is one of them. My lover and I bicker about eggs. I left them unrefrigerated, sitting on the faux marble kitchen counter next to the Instant Pot and the jars of beans I never eat. Whenever he cooked, he nagged me and put them back in the fridge. After he left, he would take them out again. I would take them out again. He asked me why, and I tell him because I am from Asia, where eggs are left in the open in street markets, come in piles of white, beige, brown, sorted by size and not color, where you pay per piece. Turned out in America, factory farms watched and bleached their eggs, removing bloom, a covering that kept the bacteria out of porous shell, preventing them from going bad. When I found out, a sudden hole appeared in my heart because my life lacked bloom and my eggs needed to be refrigerated. How far I am away from home sits permanently in my psyche, most acute when I encounter something that can't be replaced, like family and friends and festival days and where I buy my groceries. Leaving home leaves us more susceptible to the elements of life, a layers of protection lost like a filmy covering on a bird's eggshells. Homesickness seeps through exposed pores. And I wrote this poem especially for today. I wanted something celebratory, and Mother's Day and being a mother is something celebratory, and being an Asian mother, which is a whole different thing. But yeah, the best Mother's Day gift from my son was not a card or flowers, but French toast. Not an ordinary French toast, but a double-breaded peanut butter in the middle, deep fried with a generous drizzle of condensed milk French toast. And on the side, a tall glass of lemon tea made with English black tea steeped overnight. The reason that it's so special is because I hate pancakes. Their floury thickness and doughy texture, the sticky syrup, and to be honest, often raw in the middle, which I gallantly ate for 8 years straight. Because in the United States, my American son taught me little boys made their mother's pancakes for breakfast on Mother's Day. Each year he would wake up, mix powder and crack eggs, fry and create a plate full of love, which I treasured and warmed my heart for the effort and what it symbolized. But after 8 years, I hate to admit, it felt a bit much to eat something I never liked again. But this was a secret my son never had to know, because we had a tradition. And mothers always has secrets, like kisses on the right corner of her mouth that can never be gotten to. Or whose child is your favorite? Or worse, who's your least favorite? But this year, as my son brought me downstairs instead of pancakes, he declared a Hong Kong style breakfast. My heart filled in ways it hadn't before. This year, unlike the others, where his love landed just a bit crooked, he saw me, not just as a mom, but an immigrant woman far away from home who misses her mom, and brought a little bit of home to me. This year, he gave me a gift of being seen. You're my favorite son, I gushed. I'm your only one, he replied. I know, I love you anyway, I told you, and that's no secret. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. It was so sweet. I really appreciate your reminiscence about your son. That's really wonderful. And to me, it seems very rare for poems to be about the mother and son relationship, even though it's so beautiful. Thank you again.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yes.
Thank you, Jan, for your storytelling. You can feel the love. You emote so well.
Details and educate us about things like the bloom on chicken eggs.
Love that.
What it means to be an expatriate in a different way, on a very deeply felt level.
Thank you so much, Jan. All right, next up to the stage. And before we have our first 5-minute break is Eve Lee. And I've been following Eve and by following, I mean I've been following on Instagram, and so far what they have shared, the content they share, their soul, their talent, I'm really looking forward to witnessing you on this level. So, everyone, please send your love to Eve.
Thank you, Maureen. The feeling is mutual. Could you maybe share that picture I sent you? So this is for the first poem. This picture is as a background. My first poem is titled Yellow Submarine. And this poem I'm reading now is dedicated to my husband, Owen, who is actually listening from the other room right now, because he's the one that, was with me through this migration journey from Singapore to London. And that's when I managed to bloom into the queer and non-binary person today that I am. But with this migration has come a lot of new challenges. And this is my poems today will bring you on a journey that I experienced. Yellow Submarine. Oh yeah, by the way, sorry, I forgot to say that my husband is the artist of this drawing, which inspired me to write this poem. So thank you, Owen. Yellow Submarine. Across the world in a yellow submarine, towards a city full of promised dreams. We arrive at dawn, ready to surface, only to learn we belong down beneath. Glittery skyline far beyond our reach. Get in line, they said. We was here first. A place where everyone belongs, so we thought. But every corner we turned, battles were fought. Who had more money got a roof overhead. The rest had to prove. Who spoke more white had a right to stay. The rest had to prove who was more oppressed. We were yellow in color, fresh coat of paint. Too young and new to take up much space. Back of the line you go, the other colors said. They pushed our heads down, and under the sea, we saw Londinium, the shipwrecked boats of dying refugees. Ruins of wars fought, but lessons not learned. The shameful loots of the British Empire, of which we were once a part, now forgotten. Singapore, the Lion City, home of flashy yellow submarine, too whitewashed to be a real color, but still yellow at first sight. So go back to yellow country, they tell us. Confused and lost, we find ourselves stranded. From one motherland to another we went, yet none of them saw us as one of them. Home is now a yellow submarine, anchored at sea between two lands, always underwater, never ashore. For home is no longer a permanent port. In the ocean, we find our place, treasures of the seabed, all colors and shapes. Our little kingdom where we can all just be. One day, when you stop fighting for land, you can join us in this beautiful blue sea. Link hands like children who know how to love. And remember our mother, the earth. Thank you, Maureen, for the picture. The second poem I'm sharing is called Where Are You From? A question that I'm sure many of us are familiar with. Where are you from? You ask me, even before you know my name. What answer does it take to be the right kind of Asian, a good immigrant? Does it matter what country I say? When you come prepared to tell me, you have been to Japan anyway, even though my country is 7 hours away. Does it matter where I am from when all you want is to prove you know the words for hello and thank you? Would you like a round of applause for using my language to show off your sophistication? Do you mean appropriation? And is that why it doesn't matter what kind of Asian I say I am? Because to you, we are one and the same. When I tell you the answer, sometimes you fall silent, disappointed or afraid to let slip your ignorance. Sometimes you get real close and pick my country's neighbors, or name another island city-state with skyscrapers and chopsticks. What outcome shall I best hope for? Even if you know where I am from, you romanticize and exclaim, how clean, how modern. You wait, eyes like a puppy, for the bone of my approval, and grateful delight that someone like you actually knows where someone like me was born. But I don't quite understand, for I have been to your country too, and I don't tell you what I know or what I really think. So ask me again, where are you from? Or tell the truth and say what you really mean. Where on the hierarchy shall I place you? My last poem is titled Letter to My White Therapist and All White People with Good Intentions. This city is not a kind place for the rest of us who don't look like you. Bus drivers shout at Muslim women. My black friend gets spat on. And the security guard trails behind when she goes for her weekly shop in her own neighborhood. Far worse things happen, and we don't talk about it. But you tell me, I'm afraid you will lose yourself in this. This, meaning the big, scary questions, like how do I sit with the fact that I hurt a fellow person of color because my pain has cracked open their scars? How to stitch ourselves back together and recognize I am both oppressed and oppressor. Just after our session on the street, an angry white woman charged at me, asking me to open your eyes, man. The offensive slits of my yellow-skinned eyes. My husband shouts and runs after her. Say that again, to the camera. What ruckus, thought the white people, standing around the circus. Ooh, someone's having a bad day. Just another fight, another disagreement on the streets of London. An angry, bitter city, but never race. It is never about race, will never be, because we don't want to talk about it. My gaping wounds feel too wet, too heavy for you. Horrible, horrible things have happened on this land. You feel guilty and responsible for the collective actions of your people. Just as I feel a collective pain for the rest of us who carry our wounds on the backs, bleeding as you turn away from the carnage. It's a terrible thing that has happened. You feel sorry for us, upset even. Well, thanks. But horrible things continue to happen, and you continue to feel afraid to talk about it. You tell me to look away, come back to myself, because therapy is a safe space for me. But all this is a part of me. Violence and cruelty, the senseless wrong. I cannot walk away from this room, leave this behind and go to a place I don't have to think about the big scary things. There is no safe place for people like us, and this room is no better because you turn away from my pain and join the rest of my white audience, gawking at the horror circus. You say you have good intentions, as they all do. Your horror and guilt a huge weight, and you don't want to take up space. So instead, you tell me that you will never understand, will never claim to understand, no matter how hard you try, how many books you read, but your words are an empty balm, your intentions not enough. We already know that you do not understand. The question is, do you want to? And will you finally talk about it? Your white guilt does nothing to heal the wounds your people have caused, a heavy responsibility, dark legacy, something you definitely did not choose, but neither did we choose to be of color. And your fear of discomfort comes at the price of our pain, our trauma, our deaths, our mental illnesses that you tell yourself you have helped to cure in the safety of your therapy room. Whose safety? Sit down now and sit with me. Get uncomfortable. I want you to be wrong. I want you to make mistakes. Ask the wrong questions. Offend me. Accept my rage. And then apologize. But only if you truly understand and never tell me you are sorry for me. Just do better. Be better. Be wrong. Be better at being wrong. And don't try to save the world because the healing is here, right now. But you have to talk about it. You have to keep talking about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eve. So we have time for one comment. If anyone would like to offer Eve some flowers that are well deserved. You should be able to unmute.
Eve, you're thriving just like those plants behind you. Let me tell you, you're amazing. I love experiencing your artistry. Ah, you're just so great. You're just so great. I need to see you in more spaces.
You nearly made me spit out my water when you said I was drinking and you said you only asked me from Asia just so you can tell me that I went to Japan. And I laughed and I spat out. And I also, in a more serious note, like I think the Brits need to start really looking at the colonial history. They do not admit it. They do not accept it. They don't take responsibility. I think it's really important to talk about that because they colonized most of the world and haven't had a reckoning at all. So I appreciate your poem.
Truly incredible, Eve. My goodness. A poetic ninja. You just came, you slaughtered everything, and you brought it back to the fundamental of what all humans, in my opinion, strive, and it's to be seen. So amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eve, for blessing us. And yes, we need more of you, more of your content, your strength, you calling out all the white people and their good intentions. Thank you so much. All right. So now we will have a 5-minute comfort break. Please, everyone, tend to yourselves. I will put a timer. Hopefully you will see it, but otherwise, see you 10 after. We're all in different time zones. See you 10 after. All right, we should be returning in a minute. All right, welcome back. I see the timer says we have a few minutes, but as I said before, my math isn't mathing in a previous conversation. So, welcome back. We hope you've had time to replenish and release what needed. And so, it is my greatest pleasure to introduce co-host, co-organizer, co-founder of Yellow, the Yellow Warriors, Keith Marr. And also, please wish him a happy belated birthday. It was his birthday on Friday. Send him love, emojis, all of that. And Keith, when you are ready, we are ready for you. You're muted, Keith.
How's that?
Perfect. Ready.
Okay, I cannot go forward without saying what's on my mind, which is I'm blown away by Eve's last poem. It is so good. It's on the money. It's so powerful. It appeals to your intellect and to your emotions. I am a therapist myself, so it really hit home. Man, you don't deserve flowers, you deserve a bouquet. I'll talk about it more later, but I had to get that off my chest. So I hope you heard that, Eve. So, in the spirit of celebration, I am taking a poem that I wrote and making it into part one and part two. This is a poem for my mom and dad. They passed away before poetry found me, but I truly believe they wanted me to be the voice they never had. So, part one, in celebration of basketball. Part two will be in celebration of Asian America. This one's meant to be really fun, kind of captures the swag of the young hoopers I play with, and it's full of rhyme, so it's kind of a nod to my rhyming friend Eddie Poetastic. It's about time we celebrated ourselves. It's about time we reclaimed ourselves. We reclaim ourselves through our spoken word. America, we are thousands of stories you've never heard, like stories on the basketball court, the highest court in the land, moving meditation deep in the flow. I'm the shake and bake and the pick and roll. My flow is so fluid, I'm liquid. Like the master Bruce said, I'm H2O. Hope I don't seem to be bragging, but when I bust my moves, tongues will be wagging and whispering. There goes the Chinese dragon. You see, my family name goes back 3,000 years. I got a love for the game. I have no peers. I'm a founding member of the Joy Dunk Club. I'm the aesthetic and the kinetic, the poetic and the athletic. Every dribble a prayer, every shot a meditation. I'm dancing with God at the church of the 3-point shot. So that's my first poem. Part two, an ode to Asian America. Ever since I was a kid, America, you keep asking, just what are you? Where are you from? When I say Fresno, California, you say no. Where are you from? You say, where were you born? When I say Fresno, California, You say, no, where were you really born? What I mean is, where was your mother born? And when I say Fresno, California, you say, oh, what I really mean is, where was your grandmother born? And I say, would you believe Fresno, California? But the questions have turned to violence. Now, when a young Asian woman, a friend of my daughter's, who could be my daughter, walks down a West LA street, she is pelted with eggs by a carload of white men who shout, now that Trump is president, we're going to send your kind back to your own country. As tears stream down her face and a river of egg oozes down her hair. Now an 83-year-old Korean grandmother is knocked to the ground, kicked in the head, left bleeding, while the female assailant yells, white power. Now, 6 Asian women are shot dead in Atlanta. Now a Chinese man is set on fire in Chinatown. Now I carry a heavy stick in my backpack everywhere I go. After 5 generations, I am still an alien in the land of my birth. Without a greeting, people ask if I speak English when I open my front door. For a moment, I'm that 5-year-old on the playground I was before. I take that 5-year-old by the hand, and together we look America straight in the eye. And we say, America, you are a home with the front door closed. We say, America, where are we from? We're from an ancient bloodline of generals and fierce Asian warriors. My father and 6 uncles received the Chinese American Congressional Medal of Honor for their service to America in World War II. You can't get more American than that. America, we are not what you expect us to be. We are not meek. We are not docile. Oh no. We are not your one-dimensional, cardboard, feminized, pasteurized, modern-day coolie model minority. We are the luminous dream that our forefathers sing. We are a glorious golden choir lifting our voices in song. This is our country, and we belong. We are the strength and resilience of those imprisoned in the camps. We're the railroad workers who drove the spikes but were left out of the dance, whose lost lives birthed a new saying, ain't got a Chinaman's chance. We are Fred Korematsu, defied the internment all the way to the Supreme Court, refused to go in, where the heartache and the heartbreak we will never, ever, ever shake. For the murder without justice of Vincent Chin, who on the week before his wedding had his skull bashed onto the pavement by a baseball bat, and whose 2 convicted killers, I said convicted, never spent a single day in jail because, as the judge said, I don't believe these are the type of boys who belong in jail. We are the infinite sorrows of the talking walls of the Chinese immigrants on Angel Island. We are Wat Misaka, the first person of color to break the color line in the NBA. We are Kalpana Chawla, the first Indian-born woman to go into space. where Wang Kim Ark, born in San Francisco in 1873, challenged the U.S. government's refusal to recognize his citizenship. The Supreme Court's landmark decision in his favor established the principle of birthright citizenship. We're the children of our ancestors. We honor tradition, but take it strong to the whole. And at the end of the day, we are Carlos Bulosan, who still carried America in his heart after all he endured. And we, like him, have not lost hope in the promise of what America can be. If a seed must be planted, if a dream is needed, if a vision must be imagined, then now is the time. It's been time. It is about time. We celebrated ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. If anyone would like to unmute, respond to Keith. We have time
Thank
for
you.
one or two.
Oh, thank you for existing, Keith. I always love your poetry. I'm always like prepared but not prepared, and then I always feel like I need Kleenex and everything, and you're just so great, and your imagery is so vivid, and I'm just happy that you exist.
Thank you.
Yes, Kate, your pain is your purpose. It's so heartbreakingly it just cracks the heart wide open. And yet with all that pain that you eloquently write about through your personal experiences, it is a testament that, again, your pain is your purpose. How you just put it forth into this world is a breath of fresh air, in spite of how I hold my breath because I can feel all the atrocities that you speak about. Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you so much, everybody. I feel like this is where I should be saying this poem, right here with you, with all of you. I feel all of you. Okay. Again, thank you so much. My heart is full.
Thank you so much, Keith. As always.
And happy birthday.
Thank you, BeeYonka.
Happy birthday, Keith. It looks like I missed you. Lantern Carey here.
Oh, so good to see you.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
my friend.
I just wanted to join you guys and, offer my heart to your cause.
Yes, your presence is very appreciated.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Keith. And next we have a talented Chinese artist, Angela Luong. So when you are ready, actually, let me share here.
Hi, everyone. So the song that I'll be singing is from an iconic artist in Hong Kong. And this is a video that I created to give you an idea of the background of how she performed this last song before she passed away. Anita Miu, yeah. The Chinese community, they commemorate her legacy. She was a big, bold artist in the 80s and 2000s, and she really wanted to represent LGBTQ in Hong Kong. One of the first few artists is actually before she passed away. So I think that was one of the biggest, most admirable thing an artist can do in that time. So this is why I wanted to commemorate one of her songs. It's a song about overcoming sadness, loneliness, and adversity. And I hope you guys can feel some of the sadness. Check out some of the lyrics in English later on. And I'm going to be performing now.
So I'm going to translate what she's saying.
So, a story about the performer. She passed away, sadly, in her 40s to SARS, and before her career ended so abruptly, she decided to have a concert. And in the last piece of her concert, she decided to wear a wedding dress. Now, this specific wedding dress was requested to her designer for this specific last stage of her concert. As she then talked to her fans, her audience, why she wanted to wear this wedding dress. She told to her audience about her dream to be a singer, an actress, which she fulfilled. But she also had another dream as a woman to wear a wedding dress. Go through the whole, traditional path of marriage with a loved one and have kids. But, because of this terminal illness, she is not likely going to be able to fulfill that dream of hers. And so instead, on this last piece, in her last concert, she wanted a wedding dress to show her dedication to the love of her fans, her audience, for all these years that supported her career. Instead,
So I hope you guys have a background story of who Anita Mew is and her legacy. And I am going to sing the song now, and I hope you guys enjoy the performance.這願莫還，無奈只一息間燦爛，隨雲下漸散，逝去的光彩不復還，漸漸明遠，能耐這一生的變幻，如浮還聚散，纏結這創傷的倦難。漫長路就共光陰退減，歡欣中短暫未再返。眼角我夢想是平淡，誰怕落風雨翻，天正無交錯夢幻。憑願你真心並臂彎，伴我走過雲難。路上紛擾波折在一彎， 一天想到歸去，但已晚。門內只一絲昏暗，隨雲下前散，逝內的光彩不風幻。前年月，能耐這一生的變幻，如浮雲聚散，情結這眾生的眷難。漫長路，就講光陰退減，歡欣中短暫未再返。眼看看過我夢想是平淡，曾遇上幾多風雨帆，編織我交錯夢幻。曾願你真心並臂彎，伴我走過雲浪。波中沙很灰與淡，留心紛擾波折在一彎。一天想到歸去，但已晚。曾遇上幾天生孤單的我心已淡，路上分消哭笑在一彎。一天想到歸去，但已晚。曾遇上幾多風雨帆，編織我交錯夢幻。但願你真心並臂彎，伴我走過雲浪。波中沙很灰與淡，路心紛擾波折在一彎。一天想到歸去，但已晚。心雨翻，編織我交錯夢幻。但願你真心並臂彎，伴我走過雲浪。波中沙很灰與淡，路心紛擾波折在一彎。一天想到歸去，但已晚。Thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Angela. Please give Angela her flowers.
Angela, that was very, very beautiful, you know, so beautiful, so beautiful, very, very touching. But, you know, I have to add something else in good faith. The moment I saw you on the screen, what attracted me most was your moonlit smile. In good faith, don't worry. Some of you guys know me, but I just wanted to compliment you on your beautiful smile. But going back to the song, which is what you did, and the other aspects of your program, is incredibly beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I love Anita Moy, so thank you so much. Brings me back. Oh.
Yeah, this song helped me get through a lot of tough times, and especially during this time, it was healing for me. And so I hope that brings that same amount of healing to anyone else who heard this song.
Indeed. Music can be very healing, depending upon the receptivity and focus of the listener, of course. And we all at different stages of growth. For me, I like this kind of music very, very much. It came over as a kind of Chinese blend of. Is there a name for it? Like we'd say ballad in the West. What is there a kind of a name? What would you call it?
Cantopop.
Okay. Okay, because
Cantonese pop.
I'm used to Chinese episodes. I used to see them every single day, all day, and it reminded me of some of the singers. That's beautiful singing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Angela. So Angela shared her information as well in the chat. And well, so much here. So full. Next up. Keith, you're muted.
How's that? Yeah? Good. So this is my honest reaction. I was really happy when the screen opened up and there was, among other faces, BeeYonka's. There she is smiling again. Really happy you're joining us again. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. You have such a great style. It's like you spit, you're emotional. It's amazing what you do. So, I'll just read a little bit of what you said because it's very creative. If a Bay Area, California sonnet was ever to go half on a hallelujah with a haiku, she would be part Filipina and Spanish. Her pulse would pump pure poetry. Her heart would beat timelessly, senselessly. And although she was born as BeeYonka, Gomorrah Panaligan? Oh, I'm so sorry. This is kind of choppy. An educator as rare as they come, BeeYonka has been what our history books have been missing. The stage is yours. Talk that talk.
Thank you, Keith. Those words were not mine. I asked my dear friend CP Mays to go ahead and write my bio for me because I can never talk about myself.
Oh, okay.
I have 3 pieces for you guys today. One is entitled Espada. The second one is Midas Touch. And then the third one is Fighter. So I hope I hope my pieces bring you peace. Roses are red, so is my blood. I'm a brown girl too, made from the Hispania flood, which means I'm a metaphor who's forced to assimilate to similes not similar to me. If you ever drank lambanog and chased it with a cigarette lit by burning bodies filled with love notes from the landmines of the conquistadores, that's where I have been. A fusion of chaotic clarity, where coconut oil meets war paint, where the Garden of Eden meets the fall of the Roman Empire, where katana meets caresses, where my blades are sharpened on the rings of Saturn, where bloodbaths are ceremonial, where archers are also artists, and artists are oracles, and oracles are ancestors, and history is ours, and relics are memorialized, and rituals are institutionalized, and love isn't lost. And how we were never, ever really lost. So, how were we ever found? This is for my people, trying to survive against their egos. This shit is lethal. We aren't equal. But can you blame me? I mean, I'm just an evil, conniving little brown girl who's scared of this big, bad Wall Street world. I just want to love. Is that so bad? To just love? without the shackles, where empathy isn't empty, where passion is garnered by Venus, where water washes you clean and doesn't drown you whole, where singing hymns are spiritual, and how our native lingua is ours, and how our land is ours, and how our history is ours, and how my words matter, and how my soul matters, and how no weapon formed against me shall prosper, not even love. So I bite the blade that makes me bleed bullets. I choke on warrior sorrows, guilted with the smell of gunpowder that screams in agony. I'm anxiously trying to simply exist. So if you ever find me, I wasn't lost. I was in love. Here's a second piece for you guys. Perennial wildflowers take longer to establish and bloom. A perennial variety means that a plant lives more than 2 years and comes back year after year. Kinda like the way I survived through my mother's garden without the seasons. It was like a labyrinth, but with all dead ends that refused to be pruned or harvested. The fruits of her labor went from ripe to rotten, and the only way out was to grow. I am my mother's oldest child, but most importantly, I am my mother's daughter. I am my mother's only daughter, which means I am my mother's dreams, hopes, wishes, doubts, fears, anxieties, triggers, roots unearthed by trauma. I am my mother's garden. After all, I get my petals from her. I tried to plant thyme, but weeds got to it before she did. She has the Midas touch. She's a wildflower with warrior roots, which makes me a field of my favorite flowers adorned with thorns as a reminder love is conditional and consequential. I often wish things were different. I often wish my mother chose herself, even if it means I wouldn't have been born. Being my mother's daughter means that I have survivor's guilt. From all the good, the bad, and the ugly she went through, the choices she was forced to make, the decisions that left her empty, the moments where she felt her soil turn into quicksand, how she expects me to be grateful for my life, as if I asked her to be here, as if I asked for her pain, as if I begged to be her life's canvas, and how my blood makes beautiful paintings in the way my tears can cleanse her palate. I am my mother's daughter. Soil stripped and flesh bound, plucked from the sod, surviving over stolen land, born happy, but lived angry. A wildflower silenced to a wallflower, a labyrinth of emotions that can't be deciphered between a cactus or a rosette. The way my mother's rage felt like an inheritance, an heirloom, a birthright, like it's the only clean shirt I got left. How her trauma felt like a curse bestowed upon me, like ivy can't be poisonous enough after all. I'm simply just her child, her property, her pretty painting, her pruned plant, her second chance at living, the reason why she loves gardening. I am my mother's daughter, but I am not my mother. The seed she planted gave me life, stems green with vitality, petals pretty as my soul, my first chance to grow, to thrive, to let her know cycles are meant to wilt and wither, to not be so afraid no more. Let her know her garden created a field that blossomed into a forest because I chose to water myself. Poem. This last piece is entitled Fighter, and it has the words of a singer slash Filipino rapper. She goes by the name of Ruby Ibarra. So the hook is her words. Island woman, rise, walang makakatigil. Brown, brown woman, rise, alamin ng iyong ugat. That faith flimsy spirit that's easy to break. You look easy to save. You look better on this side. That's meant to savor you and your skills. Leave that rowboat and get on this slave ship, so you can finally have an opportunity to thrive. And when you feel like you can't survive, yell for help, because help drowned on the beach that day. Island woman, rise, walang makakatigil. Brown, brown woman, rise, alamin ng iyong got no business being here looking like that. We not used to that. That cutthroat, razor-sharp, double helix tongue, lip-stained oracles from ancestors spilling secrets about the muddy, muddy mercenaries, speaking hieroglyphics with those fresh-off-the-boat-shaped eyes. Shut the fuck up with that. That stomach that carries the womb of warriors, planted by heathens that say they're here to help. See, who knew help looked like shackled glory, enchained desires, and hell is called a haven, and cultural cleansing is called holistic healing. Back broken open with stories, scars lashing out like they got something to say that only our spines know about. Hips dipping into uncharted waters, riding and rowing through waves of uncertainty, fluidity. Drowning in adversity, heads locked into insanity, arm bars used as a barrage of animalistic carnage, choke hold by the hands that say they're healing us, that they're helping us, that they're feeding us with our hands tied. They like that. Yeah, they like that tap out submission, yelling our master's name as a war cry, yet they see it as ocean sirens being drowned in waters of wasted wallowing, swallowing, safety and sinking, begging for mercy like our life is running from us, like our life is sinking into the abyss, like our light is dying, like the darkness is painting my body the color of my soul, and we're chasing our breath until we trip over our skin, until brown turns to gray, until strong turns to limp, until we don't look like ourselves no more, until we not ourselves no more. Island woman rise, walang makakatigil. Brown woman rise, alamin ng iyong ugat, some nerve. Can't you see us? Can't you see me? Hiding in darkness that you created. In what underworld do you come from? With your tall, dark, and heinous self, speaking fluent in degradation, mastering being a savior to those whose souls are only salvaged from the soil. You took everything from us. And yet we still refuse to let you take everything in us. Nothing but the shirt on our backs stained with our warriors and ancestors' spirits telling our souls, rise. It's time. Poem. Thank you, everybody. Hope my piece has brought you guys peace.
Peace. I'm shooketh. Okay. Oh, let's, okay, so everyone can unmute themselves for now. We have room for about 2 people to give BeeYonka her flowers.
BeeYonka, fuego. Ridiculous. It's like, I mean, you burn that shit down. Okay. It was amazing. Amazing. Such a lyricist you are. It's fire, fuego, cenizas, everything, ashes, everything. You are a marvelous lyricist again, a poetic minx. What the fuck? Amazing.
It's not the fact that you would win slams in London, which you would, but it's the way you put your work together, the way you change emotions. You're passionate when you have to be, you're soft when you have to be. And I've been listening to your work for some time, and the whole thing flows like a running stream, you know. The images you use, and most importantly, what we poets call connection. Your ability to connect with the person or the audience is just remarkable, and I appreciate that highly.
Thank you so much, Lantern. Thank you, BeeYonka, for another blessing. All right, next up. Ooh. Here we have Diana, or Big Mama, one of 3 strong vegan warrior presences presence here. All right, her info is in the chat. We are ready, or maybe we're not, but everyone, welcome Diana or Big Mama.
Thank you. Oh, such a delight. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm so giddy. And I'm truly blessed to be here because my internet is always acting up and my wonderful husband has me on his hotspot. So I'm here and I'm just relishing in just the divine that is happening. So I'm going to read 3 pieces. One of them, I have to switch over to my phone. So if you see me leave the screen, I'm still here. I hope that you enjoy it. Here we go. This one is titled Toda Yo, All Me. So a little background, I am mixed. So I am Chinese, Russian, and from the Caribbean islands of St. Kitts, Nevis, and Puerto Rico. So everything I write about reflects my ancestors and everything that I've personally experienced within my temple, myself, and with others. So here we go. Toda Yo, All Me. Damn it. Why can't you choose one already? What do you mean? He utters them again in plain old English. Pick one. But I don't understand what he's asking, because all I hear sounds like gibberish. As I'm being forced to pick which side of my lineage I should gravitate to more, that shitty question is quite perplexing. Let me be clear, homie, so there's zero misinterpretation. I am the descendant of many that paved the way for my existence here today. Always dedicated to not forgetting any of them or favoring one over the other. To do so would mean that they never mattered, and that programmed, colonialized messaging will never be conveyed. Toda yo, all me, is a result of the suffering and beauty of my ancestors, their humble beginnings and beautiful teachings, passed down through their stories, food, language, and music, keeping on in spite of oppressive colonizers. To my Tainos, I honor you. To my Afro-Puerto Ricanos, I honor you. To my Chinitos, I honor you. To my Rusos, I honor you. Toda yo, all me. For these are my roots, and I anchor to all that sacred love. Grateful for how they bestow such benevolence upon me every day, from their highest eternal resting place, with divine's guiding light above. So that's my first one. Now I'm going to share something that I wrote last week, and then the last one is something that I wrote today. This one is called Deeper Than Our Skin. We're deeper than our skin, beyond the shade we're living in. Our hearts hold dreams, our minds hold light, more than what's seen in sight. Not just the curl, the sleek, the tone, the scar, but every journey made so far. Each word we speak, each thought we share, reveals the good that's truly there. A smile can hide 1,000 pains. A tear can fall like summer's rain. But underneath, we all begin with something deeper than our skin. So look with eyes that seek soul, not just the part that meets the goal. For in us, all a spark will shine, a deeper truth by grand design. And my last one, no more less. This is the last year I shrink to fit. The last time I stay quiet and just sit. No more dismissal, no more fear. My voice is powerful. My path is crystal fucking clear. I won't accept what's second rate. Won't carry shame like shackles and heavy weight. I know my self-worth. I know my name. I rise from silent embers, strong in flames. So mark this moment. Hear me say, I won't live small another day. This is the year I claim my space. With head held high, I take my place. Making my way to the front of the line, moving steady. Focused and sharp, at the ready. Feelings of joy. The past has been wiped clean. I exist to matter, be loved, and be seen. Thank you. Oh.
Thank you.
Okay, Big Mama. Okay. Oh, yes,
I always,
girl, yes.
I always end anything that I facilitate, whether it's in my classroom with my students, friends, loved ones, just healing, gathering circles. I always say, if you haven't been told today, this month, this year, that you are loved, you are loved. If you haven't been told today, this month, this year, that you are that you matter, you matter. If you haven't been told today, this month, this year, that you are seen, I see you. Big Mama sees you in all of your humanity. Big Mama squeeze. What a fucking great birthday this has been so far. Woo-hoo! That's it. I'm done.
Can we all wish Big Mama a fucking happy birthday? Can we?
Happy
That Big
birthday,
Mama
Big
was my
Mama.
birthday. Oh, I love it.
May your heart be filled with flowers and beauty.
Thank you.
Thank you, Big Mama. Keith, you're muted.
How's that?
Yep.
Yeah? I'm one of those Asians who does not understand technology at all. So Emily, it's my pleasure to introduce you. I have known Emily for many years in different capacities, but we've never had a chance to share the space together until recently when you started coming to Yellow. And I love your work. I love what you're doing. I love your advocacy. I love how you get out there and talk to the Asian community about mental health and how important it is to take care of yourself. So thank you so much for that. So I am really curious to hear what you're going to say.
Well, thank you so much for this platform. I feel like advocacy is so tireless and exhausting. And that's why I have to balance it with all my various types of art. And like this one I just finished the other day, the other evening, and it's pays tribute to Yayoi Kusama, who is known as the Polka Dot Lady. And I also, for 10 years, I represented the California mental health movement when it was called Each Mind Matters. And so I educate people about what the color means. So everyone knows that pink is the color for breast cancer, but no one knows that lime green is the color for mental health awareness. And so I always educate people when they compliment my glasses to just say that what I just said right now. And then, so this is the green ribbon. And ever since my dad passed away in September 2022, I basically tell everyone I went rainbow. I went rainbow after I always used to wear green. And there is an article out in the internet that says Emily Wu Truong wears her passion as a fashion. And so I've been doing that for a long time. I wear these outfits for pride parades and to acknowledge the API LGBTQ communities. I used to be heterosexual, questioning, but until my father passed away, I came out bisexual. And it's not a topic that I can really talk about with my own family. So even though Taiwan is the first country to allow for gay marriage in East Asia, and second following from Thailand to allow for this. And so there's just so much progress that needs to be made. And so I'm really happy to be here. I'm going to sing, but I'm also going to start with a spoken word that I had written when I was much younger. I'm actually going to be 45 in January. And I wrote this piece when I was in my 20s. So, and it's called "We Are All Works in Progress." Know how to help yourself before you can help anyone else. Set an example for others if you know how. However, I know this is a constant lifelong learning process. So you don't have to be perfect because we are all works in progress. There are lessons to be learned in everything that we face from day to day. Without these lessons, we don't challenge to be better than who we already are. So work on being the best person you can be. See your true potential in life. Know that you don't have to have all the answers right now. It takes time to find the answers to life. So just chill and relax from time to time. Take a moment to breathe. And just be with yourself. Know that you were made for success in this life. You can reach your highest potential if you just believe in it. Have confidence in yourself. I have confidence in you. So that's the end of that spoken word, but I wrote that because I was writing that to myself. Because I did grow up with low self-esteem, and being the youngest of 3 children in a Taiwanese family, and very high expectations are placed on kids to have very good high academic achievement scores, and I just didn't like being compared to any of my classmates growing up, and it was quite the challenge from adapting to California after living in Arkansas for the first 7 years of my life. And where I went from being the only Asian kid in a class of Black and white students, and I was like, I feel special. Like, but then when I came to California in the San Gabriel Valley, I'm like, oh shit, I'm one of too many. And it's just when immigrant parents are so fixated on getting their kids to have like the best scores and having the best reputations and going to the Ivy Leagues, it's just like, oh my gosh, that community just traumatized me. But I'm so happy to be in this space with you all, because we all need safe spaces to just truly be our most authentic selves, and without shame, because there's already so much shame that we inherit from our families, from and the voices that we hear from our parents when they think we're not like fitting the definition of success in their eyes. Why do we have to be all doctors and lawyers? Why can't we also be cycle breakers? Upstanders, not bystanders. Because Emma Watson said at the UN, if not me, who? If not now, when? So I will be the change I want to see in the world. And I get so much pushback as an advocate and as someone who's been referred to as a pioneer and a mover and a shaker. And because I don't do my advocacy just to share my story. I share my story because I want my story to be shared with the younger generation so that they know that they're not alone in their struggles. Because every Asian kid who grows up feeling like they don't belong and they don't know where they fit in this world, I want them to know. I want them to know. You are not alone. You are precious and you are priceless. So this is also a recent art piece that I drew, and I'm going to draw a version of this heart. It's called Healing Heart in a Rainbow Heart. And I also drew these tears because I want people to know that, it's important to release your tears, because you transform into a beautiful butterfly and you evolve and you grow, and you just have to keep on learning. As Nelson Mandela said, I never lose. I either win or I learn. So we have to keep on learning.
Thank you so much, Emily. Thank you. You are always so raw and vulnerable, and as you can see in the chat later, your vulnerability opens doors and space for others to do the same. Thank you so much. Just to honor the time, sorry to cut you off. For those who want to connect with Emily and witness more, her information was shared in the chat. And now we will have a final break before the final set. So please do what you need to do, tend to yourselves. We'll be back in 5 minutes. So that's 13 after, wherever you are. Thank you. We will resume in about another minute. Hello, welcome back. Hope you were all able to practice some self-care and tend to yourselves. Just to let you know, we are a few minutes behind. And we hope you will stay with us throughout the whole journey today, throughout the whole shared journey. And just a reminder, feel free to make space and also to take up space. We need witnesses, and we're so glad to have you here to witness everyone. And so if you're someone who is chatty, or if you're someone who maybe is less chatty, we would love to have your voice, have your opinion, have you weigh in if you feel called to do so. So this is for all of us, right? The features are the ones whose voices are mostly heard today, but we are inviting everyone to share. Okay? So, Keith, when you are ready to introduce our next artist. Just putting Jen's info in the chat. And just FYI, Keith, you are okay.
Okay, great. Oh man. Okay. Well, Jen's bio is in the chat, so I won't read all of that to you. I will just say on a personal note that I've gotten to witness Jen's poetry and who she is as a person through some of the open mics that I've had the pleasure of sharing with her. And she's an amazing poet. I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to say today. So, Jen Wang, please take it away.
Right. Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Elise Wang, scientist, writer, drag and burlesque performer, among many other things. Last year, I was just a listener, and so I'm really grateful to participate. And this has been such a healing space for me because I'm often dealing with lack of representation in Texas, even though there are a bunch of Asians down here. And I decided to use that frustration to inspire my set. And I created a PowerPoint just to show that we've always been around, even in these scenes that don't get associated with being Asian, like poetry, like burlesque and action sports. So my first piece I wrote in response to a multicultural event at the Dallas is Lit literary festival, and there wasn't any Asian representation despite being multicultural, and that kind of bummed me out. I am thankful to say that they actually added Asian poets in the subsequent years, so that's like a nice happy story to start off with. So this piece is native speaker. I went to a multilingual poetry event and I didn't see myself represented, but I realized I don't even represent my own native tongue. I've written poems in 4 languages, English, Spanish, Japanese, the made-up language of Sindarin, but never Mandarin Chinese, of which I spoke my first words. Now the words don't come, and I wonder why I can't seem to find the romance, only to remember my parents shouting, and my mother and her friends whispering of whose child is worthless, the worst, forgetting we can hear and comprehend. I remember drowning out the sounds with loud music in other languages, so I'm not haunted at night by the words I do understand. Now I don't have the words to express my true self to my family, much less construct metaphors and similes of my experiences and emotions. Now I hear my coworkers whisper, they also forget my comprehension, and I'm filled with dread over words I can't remember the meaning of, and loneliness in living in an entirely different culture from them, one that sees me as foreign too. Native English speakers admit they don't really understand poetry, yet I am still the outsider. So I work in science and am with a lot of immigrants and visiting scholars. And so just the dichotomy of that and my writing life and my performance life is something I'm constantly navigating. My next piece is about burlesque, and Keith has seen this. If you're Facebook friends with me, I wrote a rant about how like it is AA and HBI Heritage Month, and yet I don't see any representation in a lot of places. I'm not the only performer, and it sucks because there's always been Asian performers since like the 40s and the 50s, and there are award-winning Asian burlesque performers. So the fact that you don't have anybody locally shouldn't be an excuse. You can always hire somebody. And so this poem, it's based on the word ecstesiast, which H.L. Mencken coined to describe burlesque performers. And that comes from the scientific term ectasis, which is the metamorphosis that some animals go through. And so I like that dichotomy because I kind of represent that and explored it in this poem, ectasis. Ectasis is a shedding of the outer layer of skin, a process that the burlesque dancer, saltator burlesca, undergoes. As the dancer approaches this phase, her outer skin shines like it's made of crystals. She basks in the light. The burlesque dancer actually becomes more active during the time of ectasis. A gleam appears in her eyes, heavily lashed and lined. It is time for the first piece to be shed. She bites on her finger to initiate, a sharp motion followed by a gentle sliding of the skin off one arm, then the other. She undulates to a rhythm, circling her hips and feeling her body with fingertips. Scientists hypothesize the contact helps with the process. There is a small opening on her back, a flap of old skin. She tugs until the largest piece comes off. Then she bends to remove the skin on her legs. It seems stuck on her foot. She smiles, and it pops right off. No one knows if the pause was intentional. As the last pieces are shed, we see the burlesque dancer in her new skin, iridescent and smooth, glowing with new life. She bows and takes her leave until she is ready to return to begin the metamorphosis again. And my last piece is also about something I love, action sports. And it is my eternal pet peeve when people are like, I don't expect you to be into skateboarding, snowboarding. And when I've asked them why, and it's turned into like racist, sexist microaggressions because they're like, you're an Asian femme. And I was like, what does that have anything to do with it? Yeah, we're not very popular, but if you look back into like skateboarding and surf history, there's always been like Asian femmes. And so yeah, I wanted to pay tribute to that. Also wanted to pay homage to the Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders who often get left out of this month too for representation. So I brought in a surfing poem, and it's actually inspired by a surfer who was competing in Tahiti, and she's half Japanese competing for Costa Rica, and she writes poetry too, Brisa Hennessy. So when I learned about that, that was kind of cool. So this is watching the Tahiti Pro while practicing surgery on mice. Your arms aren't working. My hands keep shaking. You try to kick, paddle, charge to gain priority. I'm snipping, peeling, searching for the correct artery. You've been competing all day under the sun. I've been practicing surgery for hours under a microscope. You take a deep breath and duck dive. I steady my breath before making an incision. Your muscles tense as you try to get barreled. I push the skin and muscle aside. You thank Ta'aroa for the opportunity and pray for his mercy. I beg Ro'o to help make this procedure a success. Your body gets slammed by the water, the reef cutting your leg. My heart sinks with another death from an incorrectly cut vein. Agony comes in many forms, but having gone farther than we have before, we swim on. And that is my set. I'll pop in the link to the PowerPoint that I had. I know we've been dealing with Zoom bombers and like technical difficulties. So my PowerPoint just has like different individuals in poetry, burlesque, and surfing, and also where to find them, and also my secret Instagram. So
Thank you, Jen. Will you be showing your presentation briefly, or?
Oh, I wasn't sure because of all the Zoom bombing, so I just
I can show it. I can share screen if you'd like to
Okay.
briefly.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe like okay.
Yeah, it's mostly just photos of like the people and the events I referenced. So yeah, like the next slide was that was the multicultural. It was a multicultural, multilingual event. And I think that's what really kind of jabbed me was that there wasn't any Asians in there. But this year they had a Vietnamese poet and then a Filipino poet who spoke Tagalog. And yeah, Shizue mentioned the glamour rap in my slide, couple slides, I think slide number 3, I talk about, or I have the Grant Avenue Follies and a link to their Instagram and stuff, because they were all former nightclub dancers from that era. And like, and then, yeah, the next 2 slides are more current burlesque performers, including me. I didn't put that in my public bio because not everybody approves. So yeah, you can find my performer info. And then yeah, with surfing, there's a lot of Asian American surfers, and then like Asian Hawaiian, Native Island, Pacific Islander, Native Hawaiian. So wanted to give them their flowers and like recognition because yes, surfing's really diverse. And like Keith said, especially skateboarding now, once it's become an Olympic sport, it's gotten even more diverse. But if you've ever seen the movie Lords of Dogtown, it's based on real life skaters, and there are 2 Japanese skaters in there, Peggy Oki and Shogo Kubo. Yeah. So yeah, like all the information on who to follow, you can download the PowerPoint and check everybody out.
Thank you, Jen. And we have time for 1 or 2 people to respond to Jen. Give them their flowers.
Oh, Pietro.
You should be able to unmute. I would like to thank you, Jen, for amplifying other artists. Sometimes we need to use space and platform our own work in artistry, and sometimes we also make space for other artists that have paved the way and that inhabit all other fields. So really grateful for like the full breadth of the Asian existence that you've briefly touched on. Thank you.
I think Keith is muted. It looks like. But yeah, thank you, Maureen.
Oh, God. So what I did say was, thank you for taking the time to create that slideshow with the names and faces of all these Asian role models that we probably don't, I don't know all of them. So that's great. I really like that you you realize what you needed, I think, to know. And so you're sharing that with others. And it's wonderful. So thank you so much.
Thank you again, Jen. And now I am so honored to introduce Mansi, a warrior for all species, all animals, because just in case we forgot, humans are also animals. And so I will let Mansi speak for herself, and yeah, brace yourselves for this power.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me this space to perform. And my writing is a lot of times focused on non-human animals. So I'm going to present two pieces that are focused on non-human animals today. Here we go. Last night, I met a raccoon. Not in a story, not in a dream, but on the cold edge of a garbage can, ribs fluttering like butterflies, eyes full of silent, unbearable pain. She lifted her head then, as if the world might slow down for her, as if mercy were not a myth buried beneath budgets and bills. I did nothing. Not because I didn't ache to, but because this world, this gleaming, ticking concrete box, has no place for the feral, the fragile, the ones who perish in plain view, without a code to scan or card to swipe. The streetlight sputtered above her, cold and useless as the glow of passing faces lit by screens. Eyes downcast, not in mourning, but in scrolling. She died beneath a street lamp, not a tree, not even a blade of grass to cradle her last breath. Just asphalt and silence and a civilization too busy enduring to remember how to care. What kind of species are we? We worship in cathedrals of convenience, bowing to the altar of efficiency, but can't kneel beside a creature in pain, where trash is lifted more gently than the furred hush of a dying soul. In the morning, she was stiff. The sun glanced off her fur like it might burn her back to life. But she was gone, and the world somehow carried on. And me, I carry her, that small, immense sorrow, that mirror held up to a species who calls itself human. That was my first piece. And this next one is dedicated to anybody who is fighting for any cause out there. Being an advocate is not difficult, especially when we don't get results. Here we go. You see me shout, fists clenched, gritted teeth, a ripple at first, then a thunderous roar. I shout for those whose cries are ignored some more. You see me cry, surge and swell of a fiery tide, embers of a smoldering fire. I cry for those whose voices are tired. You see me fight, a torrential force, an untamed sea. It consumes my soul in its crushing embrace. I fight for those whose lives leave no trace. You see me laugh, a chance to heal, to find release. Underneath it all, a tempestuous storm. I laugh with those who do not conform. You see me beg to amplify dim voices, ignite the flame of compassion. I beg for bodies ripped open, smashing, thrashing, gnashing. I see you walk away without a care. Thank you.
Is that it? Is there more?
Yeah, I have one more piece. I don't know if I have enough time for it. Okay.
Ready.
All right, I'll just go for it then. Okay. A moment's God. And so it is. I'm God once more. With a wave of my hand, I count fingers 4. One by one, the captives, the birds, dragged by their claws and paws, are hung upside down. A minute elapses. I watch with many eyes as they are shoved in boxes, mere morsels for a hungry humanity. Omnipotent, benevolent, I glide, wings open wide, pride dripping from my jowls. Look, I say, I saved them. The ones left behind cluck and quack. Me, they beg. I collapse, grief dripping from my eye. I'm no longer God, omnipotent, benevolent. A mere hapless human. I left them behind to die. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mansi. Something I just would love to highlight is there are 3 vegans in this room, and something that you, Mansi, and others have demonstrated is, vegans care about all animals, including humans, and we are often, faced to prove ourselves, like, why do you only care about animals? And we have the space and the fullness to care about all species, all animals. And I think so far we have witnessed just a snippet of that. And yeah, thank you, Mansi, for all you do. Revolution Philadelphia, please look them up. They are badass women warriors. Is there any last thing that you want to share, Mansi? Oh, you're muted. Wait. Yes, you can unmute if you'd like.
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much. Everyone's voices here are so powerful, and thank you for giving me the chance to present non-human animals, because like us, like humans, they're also victims of colonialism quite a bit. I don't want to get into all of that because I'll be here for an hour, but thank you for giving space to non-human animals too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mansi. Any final comments to give Mansi her flowers?
Mansi, that was beautiful. That was beautiful and heart-wrenching, and it brought tears to my eyes, your first one and your last one, as the, mama of fur and feather babies. 2 of my feather babies are pigeons that I've had since they were little ones. And that last one really touched me with everything that's going on in New York City with the pigeons. And so, yes, thank you. Thank you for that. These voices that we have are powerful ones, and we must use them for those that are unable to speak for themselves in a language that can be translated into compassion. So thank you.
All right. Thank you again, Mansi and Big Mama, for the flowers, for the bouquet. Next up is Shizue.
Shizue. Let me see. Hi, Shizue. So good to see you. Shizue, there's a lot that Shizue has done and accomplished. I want to say something about how much I appreciate your Right Now San Francisco Bay. I like the name Right Now. That's great. And the work you do with your anthologies and workshops, nurturing BIPOC voices. So thank you for all that you do. I wish I was in San Francisco. I'd probably be showing up all the time. So please take it away.
Well, my workshop, thank you, Keith and Maureen, and thank you to all the amazing, powerful readers from around the world. It's been an amazing event. Thank you so much for organizing these. I would like to say that right now, sfbay.com, my website, features writing workshops twice a month that are virtual, so they're open to people no matter where you live. Um, I'm going to read a poem uh, um, about my grandfather. I'm third generation Japanese Americans, and with the new administration targeting people and calling them enemy aliens and invoking the Enemy Alien Act for the first time since World War II. I'm descended from the 120,000 Japanese Americans that were incarcerated after World War II. And so I want to read a poem about my grandfather, and I want to say that for him and many other Japanese Americans, it was their the strength of their culture, their traditions, their traditional Buddhist values, their sense of community, and their determination never to give up in the face of injustice that carried them through the incarceration and carried them through the resettlement period and got a presidential apology and redress 20 years after the incarceration. And there are still many Japanese Americans today that stand up for against injustice. So can you turn on the share? I'd like to.
Just wait, actually, do you think you can quickly send it to me so that I can share screen?
No, it doesn't matter. I mean,
just because of the Zoom bombers, so that they don't interfere.
I don't have to share. I'll just read since we're running out of time.
Okay, it's up to you, but I can also share screen, share your work.
It'll take too long I'm sort of an idiot. It'll take too long for me to find the things to send you. Unless I can send it in the chat.
Okay, I'm gonna allow you to share screen. I'm allowing it now. So
yeah,
we'll keep our eyes peeled for any interference, if we could, if I may ask.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Sorry for being an idiot.
No, you're not an idiot at all.
I'm almost 80, so sometimes this technical stuff is beyond me.
Sorry,
So
can you share screen again? Sorry, this time that was me. Sorry.
Okay, this is a collage of my grandfather and the incarceration camps. The scissors symbolize the cutting off of I don't know, tradition, family stories, heritage. The fields symbolize the fact that my ancestors were largely farmers. And I'm going to stop share and start sharing the poem. Okay, sorry, okay, sorry for the delay. Ji-chan, which means grandpa in Japanese. Mottainai. Mottainai, waste not, want not. Find a use for every bone and rag. Ji-chan, grandpa, make a life out of leavings. You did not have the tongue to tell me. I lacked ears to hear. Now I puzzle out the story from scraps you left behind. Ji-chan, you only had to sigh to let me know that I was loved. On mornings when our breath hung in the air and frost crunched underfoot, we were two exiles without common language, savoring in silence the coil of worm tracks in the mud, the call of birds we could not name, bubbles trapped under ice. Jichan, your story spilled out petal by petal, year by drifting year, gnarled heartwood gentled by time. So much heartbreak. Shimpaso danai. You found your purpose where you could. Learn to make do from the day you were born. Shoganai kana. It can't be helped. Your mother died to give you life, dropping in full flower like a headless camellia. Your father immigrated to America to blot out his loss. Your bachan raised you to a hopeful 15 till you could join your father in California. But you found not a father, but a stranger, flanked by a jealous new family. You were the chonan, the eldest son, with all the duty and none of the privilege. Your only purpose to be the family workhorse, your stepsister's servant, your parents' old age security. Oyakoko shinasai. Do your filial duty. You tried and tried for 20 years until the day you broke free, packed a bedroll, and joined the Brancatojin, blanket men, following the harvest with only a bedroll across your back, a rootless slip, seeking a fresh bond, a strong graft, a place to anchor your skills in the soil. A hired hand at first, and then the widow's foreman, managing 140 acres and 30 workers, planting peas and pole beans high up on the hill. You could never fill the shoes of a ghost, but you could lull yourself to the swash of another sea, foraging for sea snails, singing the songs of your grandmother. Ji-chan. As the world exploded into war, peasants became pawns in the board games of bureaucrats. After an enemy sub shelled the Central Coast, the FBI took you in dead of night with no time to pack your clothes. Your crime? Living while Japanese within 5 miles of the coast. Every able-bodied Issei who did anything whatsoever alien in leadership, business, language, religion, martial arts was tracked by Navy intelligence and the FBI, who combed business directories, church bulletins, community newspapers. A 30-year-old vet of the Russo-Japanese War? Lock him up. A four-eyed mouse of a language teacher? Lock him up. The treasurer of the Buddhist church, a double-entried bookkeeper condemned by kindness to counting dimes collected at teriyaki fundraisers and bingo nights, served for years because nobody else would volunteer. Lock him up. Lock them all up. Since 1939, they'd made lists of potentially dangerous. Take the men. Leave the women and children alone. 400 men, 800 at most, until the president had different priorities, other ideas, mushrooming, 2,000, 6,000, 120,000 in American concentration camps, 129,000 dead in Hiroshima, 80,000 more in Nagasaki. Ji-chan, such a minor casualty of war, taken in the night with the clothes on your back, blasted away to the Badlands reserved for Indians, Fort Missoula, Montana, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Bismarck, North Dakota. Mark off your days as a guest of the Department of Justice. You remade your life from scrimps and scraps, peace from $12 a month pay, mail order catalogs, and skilled learned from friends with time on their hands. What you didn't spend on tobacco and rolling papers went into Montgomery Ward mail order, underwear, socks, and shirts, necessary you couldn't take when they loaded you in the back of a 2 a.m. truck. In camp, I supposed to be a policeman, but in the night I became a dorobo, a thief, you said. You stole lumber from the scrap pile to build suitcases like store-bought, with dovetailed corners and steel-armored edges, mail-order hasps, and real leather handles. Inside, you kept treasures of enforced ingenuity, carved wooden brooches with safety pin backs, belt of black walnut shell, sliced and polished, threaded like conchos on army green bootlace, a box of leather scraps, oxblood red and ochre yellow, in case you needed to patch a hole, improvise a hinge, buffer an edge against bumps. Gambate. There was something in you that never gave up. It bent without breaking, like bamboo. Though you never sat me on your lap, never hugged or kissed or said you were proud, the warmth of your callous hand on my shoulder never changed. Motainai, waste nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Shizue. Feel free to give Shizue her flowers. It seems the flowers are being planted in the chat. So thank you, Shizue.
Thank you for all your kind words.
All right. Keith, ready?
So, are you ready, Maureen? I will say, I know you don't want us to spend much time. I will say, quite personally, it's a joy and a pleasure to work with my friend Maureen. She's an amazing human being and a great, great poet, but she's really great to collaborate with each month. And during this particular this year's event. So thank you for all you do. I know everybody else appreciates what a special person you are. I just want to tell you, I do too, publicly. So I understand you have something that's a surprise for us. So I am waiting with bated breath to hear it. So, Maureen Medina, please take the stage.
Thank you, Keith. And thank you, everyone who has blessed us with yourselves, your experiences, your ancestors. Before I start, oh my God, I'm getting emotional again. I do, this is when we were planning today, it was Keith's idea to say, why don't we embrace a theme of celebration? Last year, we were releasing shame, and this year we were celebrating. And I realized I don't know how to do that because I don't know how to do that. Yeah. So in the spirit of celebration, I would just like to uplift and name Palestine. They are Asian. They are being destroyed in mass, and yet they have a joy, a power that is undeniable, and the whole world is rallying for them. And so, yeah, I just want to start by, calling to end genocide, to free Palestine, and get land back for all stolen lands, cultures, fauna, flora. And with that said, I'm going to attempt to share screen. myself and see. I'm not going to play the audio. I'm just going to let you see it. There's a reason you'll be looking at it. So bear with me. And while you are watching it, I'm going to be reciting a poem. You're lucky, you're beautiful. Celebrate. The embrace with which Mom was welcomed into the US of A was a chokehold for me. Celebrate. Mom heard loud and clear that beauty would be her survival, so she passed down her lipstick, blush, and assimilation. Celebrate. Mom raised 4 girls on her own and taught us to be women. Women who, despite our intelligence and will to live, were taught to find safety in men. Celebrate a man's approval. Celebrate a man's arms. Celebrate a man's last name. Celebrate that being a desirable and dutiful wife and mother would ensure security. Celebrate an immigrant mother doing everything she could to ensure her daughter's safety. No, fuck that. Celebrate a mother doing everything she could to ensure that her daughters would survive, even if it means her culture won't. Celebrate one daughter's ambition, one daughter's brilliance, one daughter's loyalty, one daughter's heart. Celebrate. That celebration doesn't come easy for me because I have become fluent in the colonizer's language, and yet I celebrate. Because despite my fluency, I speak many languages. Celebrate. I speak the language of resistance. Celebrate. I speak poetry. Celebrate. I speak of the unspeakable. Celebrate. I speak revival, return, resurrection. Celebrate. I use my spirit to map out where we've gone astray, celebrate racialized notions of beauty that try to invisibilize me but failed. Celebrate. I felt cursed with the inheritance of my ancestors' features. Celebrate my hair, so thick and coarse. Celebrate my nose, small and flat. Celebrate. Ugly, 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 I thought. Celebrate until I remembered that what I thought was ugly was the image of my people reflected in my body. Celebrate. I am a vessel, an heirloom, a remembrance. Celebrate. The most feminine thing about me is my resistance. Celebrate. In my brown body, I celebrate. I carry my grandmothers and grandfathers and all who came before them. Celebrate I carry my grandmothers and grandfathers and, oh, I already said that, and I'm celebrating extra. Celebrate. I carry my mother, my sisters, their children, and all who will come before them. Celebrate that my mother's love brought us this far. She has done her part. Celebrate that I didn't let my mother's love disappear my self-love. Celebrate. I have nothing left to hide behind. Celebrate that I am done hiding. Celebrate. Nagmayat tibiyag ko. And so, this is my femininity. I am fucking free. And I asked my partner to be the one to shave my head because my family is always asking what he feels, what he thinks. And I want to focus on what I feel and what I think. And I feel like a fucking badass. So thank you.
Can we unmute? Mo! Fuck it up. Fuck it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You are so powerful. You are poetry in human form. You're like so amazing. Oh, I'm so glad to know you. Oh my, that's my friend, y'all. That's crazy. Oh, that's my friend. Oh my God, watch out for her.
You are a phoenix rising, Maureen. I love your hair. I mean, many times in feminine culture, men always like the long hair, and I've had short hair before. So more power to you. I see the love that you have for yourself, and yeah, you are a badass. So keep on speaking truth to power, and you know, I celebrate you. I celebrate all of us because all of you are speaking your truth. So never ever let anyone take that away from you.
Yeah, kind of echoing that same sentiment. Because I get a lot of pushback from my mom that like the shorter my hair is, and there is this whole thing with like I guess like femininity and like what is beauty related to. I have a whole burlesque act about this because it's like you're not supposed to have short hair, but then you can't have body hair, and like it's just hair has so much meaning and but then so much baggage too. And so yeah, I really appreciate that piece, Maureen. And also it made me think about recently Sports Illustrated had an Asian cover model who was plus size and queer, and it just like she's spoken a lot about just different beauty standards where like she's curvy but not in the Western way, like she's not an hourglass, and so I think your piece, Maureen, made me think about that as well, just the representation and like that colonial view of beauty that is so pervasive.
Thank you, Jen. And I actually just wanted to share that it's in the context that in pre-colonial, before Spain colonized the Philippines and forced Christianity onto us, long hair was revered by all genders. And only when the Christians came, when Spain came, then hair became gendered and hair became a form of resistance. And that's it. So I have to go. I've probably taken up more than my allotted time. So thank you all so much for being here. I would like to invite you all so we don't just step out of this space so abruptly. If I would like to invite you all to close with a grounding practice the way we opened. So it's a little chilly here without the hair, huh? So I would like to invite you all to close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes. Return to your anchor. Perhaps at this point, your anchor has changed again and again from bearing witness to so much love and pain and resurrection. So just take a moment. Remember your own cues of safety, support. What does it feel like in your body? What does it feel like in your breath, in your posture? And how, in your capacity to feel held, what does it feel like? In this moment, or perhaps in following moments, a day, a few weeks, or more, we may find that our spirit and bodies are responding to what's been shared today. So I invite you all to be curious and gentle and to receive all emotion as information of who you are and who you want to be. Take a few more breaths. And when you're ready, return your gaze to the space that we have all held together within and above this room. And thank yourselves, thank each other. And I will pass the mic on to Keith to wrap us up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maureen. I feel like I want to say something very eloquent, and I start putting pressure on myself. And I realize what I really want to say from my heart is I'm filled with gratitude for all of you who shared their art with us. I'm grateful to all of you who shared your time and presence by coming here. I hope you were rewarded by this amazing lineup of artists. I am going to take 5 hours or so to decompress after this. It was so amazing. That's really all I have to say. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a June date for our monthly, which is when, Maureen?
June 29th.
Thank you to everybody. I feel like everyone is coming from such different places, and it makes me get in touch with a different part of me that maybe I didn't really know was there. So I just feel more fully human and more fully Asian and more proud to be Asian than ever before. And I owe that to all of you. And I hope all of you feel the same way, or else you feel more proud to be whoever you are, right? That's the point. So thank you so much. Be well. Hope to see you soon.